Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to What the Fuck Are We Doing? I'm Randy.
And I'm Miranda.
And we're back, bitches. I'm in such a good mood today.
So am I, but I just started. I bet you Rodrigo's over there laughing at me the way I just said my name.
Wait, is he in here? Is he still
He's
in?
still there, yeah. As soon as I said it, I was like, whatever. Someone tell me a different way to say my name so Rodrigo will leave me alone about it.
Miranda.
How else would I say it? I have to say I can't just be like Miranda. Like, what am I supposed to say?
Yeah, and then since I say the intro, I have to say all of that.
Yeah, and I don't know. I'm going to think of a creative way to say my name.
And I'm Miranda. And I'm Randy.
Maybe I'll pause in different parts of the sentence.
We'll practice like in front of
Give it a little switcheroo.
Ooh, something different.
How embarrassing.
I love that. I feel like we talk about this all the time, but Rodrigo always makes fun of the way you say your name.
Like random. Like we'll be driving and he'll be like, and I'm Miranda. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, why are you laughing at me?
Also, if you're new here, obviously I'm Randy. That is Miranda. And Rodrigo is Miranda's lovely boyfriend who makes fun of the way she introduces herself on our podcast.
Yeah, and I was never insecure about it until he said something. And now I'm like, why do I sound like that? But I don't care. It's my name. What am I going to do about it?
There's nothing much you can do. But here we are. It's a new week. This week we have an exciting topic to talk about, brought to you guys by Miranda.
Yes, and we actually talked about it like very briefly, and I'm just trying to find which one it was. Let me see. I sent it to you yesterday. In episode 5.
In episode 5
of this season. Yeah, season 3, episode 5. When we talked about red flags and green flags, we briefly talked about it. So, oh my God, and I was here when we recorded that. Look at that. Basically, what sparked this idea for me, everyone knows I'm like a fucking trash television junkie.
Yes.
And there's a new show on Netflix called like Ultimatum, and there's something else on it, but it's called like Ultimatum or whatever. Basically, people who are all very fucking young, like the oldest person's like 27, these couples go on this show, and one of them wants to get married and the other one doesn't. So they're like, we're coming to the show and we're either going to get married after this or I'm leaving you. Like that's
the ultimatum.
That's what the goal is, right? But they go on the show and then basically you break up with your partner and then you like date all the other partners and then you pick one of them and you live with them for 3 weeks as like a trial marriage. And then you go back to your boyfriend or girlfriend and live with them for 3 weeks after they've just been with someone else and you've just been with someone else. And then you decide who you want to marry, if you want to marry anyone at all, unless you just want to be by yourself. And so to me, it just sparked this thought of like, are people, right? Are people like, just like intrigued with like a shiny object? Because like there were, like, so there were couples that broke up, right? I think so too. I got Rodrigo to watch it a little bit and we were talking about it. But like there were couples, right, that came into this together. They found new people. And like one of the guys was like dating this girl. Like they definitely had sex. They were like, they all had to meet each other's families and stuff. But I was like, you just broke up with your girlfriend.
That you're there for the ultimatum.
That you're in love with so much and you're having sex with this girl that you don't know and it's been 3 weeks. Like, so to me it's like, I don't think that's like soulmate. Yeah. Like they're like, oh my God, we get along so well. We have so much in common. I'm like, no, you're fucking, you were in a long-term relationship and you were like, attention, let me do whatever. Yeah. But I just thought it was so interesting. So I was like, because they were trying to like pass it off like, we have so much in common and you check all my boxes. And I was like,
you're the person I want to spend the rest of
my
life
like,
does
he check your boxes or are you just fucking bored with your relationship? Or someone new just got like thrown in your face. So I don't
know. So the person checking off all the boxes, like let's say if they are speaking about that, is that the person they went there with or is that the person they're newly hooking up with? Oh shit. Okay, that's
Newly
interesting.
hooking up with. They were like sat down, like they had dumb shit in common, like, oh, my mom's Italian, your mom's Italian, like dumb shit like that, or like they were talking about how clean they were. I'm like, this is dumb. Like, this is not fucking soulmate shit.
This is like surface level shit.
These are common things. I could find 100 Italian people right now. Like, what the fuck? But I was just like, it was stupid. So that just made me think, like, I don't know. I think people think that there's like different definitions of soulmates, but like I wouldn't meet someone and go, oh my God, we're Italian, we're soulmates. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It was really interesting. And then I was just like, I don't know. Like, that doesn't that make you question if people really love each other, if they're so ready to be like, bye? Like,
yeah, I feel like that's the thing too with reality TV and stuff like that.
Oh, for
I try
sure.
to remember, like,
it's fucking
I feel like
TV.
It's TV. Like, majority of it is not real. It's solely there for your entertainment. But that is very interesting.
That it, like, for some of them, you could tell it was like a fucking struggle. Like, oh my God, I'd really rather be with.
That's tough.
Normal.
But I couldn't.
The people that were like jumping in, I was like, what's going on? Like,
I don't know. I feel like maybe in that case, they're like, oh, we're on a show. Like, that's the whole point of the show. Why not? But that's still insane to me. I feel like that's the same thing with, like, sorry, guys, I'm not hating for those of you that love The Bachelor and Bachelorette, but
it is.
It's the same bullshit. It's like 20. Okay, guys, I'm not going to get the numbers right because I've never watched it in my entire life. But
it's a lot of them.
It's like 20 fucking people, and it's one guy or one girl, like, basically hooking up with all of them, kissing them, going out dates with all of them,
telling them
oh my God,
yeah.
I love you, like, you're the one, like, all this shit. And each girl really believes, like, I'm going to get the fucking rose or whatever the fuck you get. And then half of them, you know, they only pick one. Like, they only pick one.
And then 99% of the time, they don't end up with that person.
It's just.
And then they're like, oh, I'm back with this one. It's
very interesting to me, but.
It kind of makes me sad. Basically, well, okay, what we're talking about today is soulmates, people. Yes. But it kind of makes me sad because I feel like shit like this, I love watching this stuff. But I think that it, like, really, like, devalue, is that the right word? Like, devalues or, like, makes, like, love less important and, like, less of a big deal than it is. Like, to me, I don't know.
You think it, like, brings it down a notch?
I just think it makes it, like less, like, because I do think it is a big deal, and I think it's a big deal to, like, be in love with someone and, like, be willing and, like, ready to spend the rest of your life with someone, and, like, stuff like that, I feel like makes it, like, it's like a game.
Yeah. Like, because that's what it's like, a game show almost. Like, it's reality
like a literal
TV.
game. And one of the, like, what, for example, you and I have talked about this, like, one of the guys said something like, she only wants to get married because she wants a wedding. And I was just, I feel such like a thing.
I mean,
I feel that way about people having babies. Like, they want to have a baby so they can post on Instagram.
Post.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I mean, if this is you, like, I'm not talking shit about you. Like, this is just solely, like, my perspective of what I think. I feel like because we are in a digital age and social media is everything, it's part of it. Majority of the world's daily lives.
Yeah.
And it's so common, especially with, like, dating apps, how we've talked about this so many times in, like, all 3 seasons of the show so far, where it's like a human menu. You're constantly looking for the next best thing. And I know that's how it was for me, like, being honest, like, on dating apps. And I mean, if you guys have been listening or you know me personally, you know this is true. But, like, I would just go on there and look at people. Like, swipe. I would never really take it seriously. Like, there was very rare occasions.
I think we have an episode on this.
Yeah. But I just want to touch on how dating apps and social media have made it so common for people to be waiting for the next best thing.
Yeah.
Thinking that something better is out there because we have all these options just handed to us, like, on a platter for us to choose from.
Take your pick. Yeah.
So that's why I think, and a lot of people too, I've noticed it, like, even in middle school and high school, like, I don't know if I'm just fucking weird, but people use and throw around the term, like, love so loosely. Like, I remember, like, girls in high school, like, I mean, I know it's high school, but they'd always, like, girls they just met, like, oh my God, I love you, like, shit like that, you know? And I'm like,
do you even know her?
Yeah, not a big fan of that stuff. But these reality shows while they are based solely for your entertainment, they're interesting to see how they mess with things like love.
Yeah, I think that it like
dating.
People our age and like particularly younger people, I think, are gonna have like a really skewed view of like marriage and love and like having a baby and those things, because I feel like so much of that shit gets done for other people rather than for yourself. Like,
yeah.
And I swear we're gonna start talking about this, but I have to get this off my mind now that I'm thinking it. Like, fucking gender reveals. Who is that for? Is that really for you, or is that so you could go and post on Instagram that you lit up the fucking, what is that building? Empire State Building, fucking blue. Like, I think
it's
shit
all
like
for
that
show.
is exactly, because really, when people had babies, when our parents had us, they were in the doctors and they'd go, oh, it's a girl, oh, it's a boy, and then that was it. And then you told someone,
your friends, or you didn't,
or you didn't find out.
I feel
and that was like, it's so fucking weird.
I hate to be that person. I feel like I'm so old, but I'm like, with social media, it's like one person did it and then it popped off. Everyone wanted to do it. You know, I need people to like. It's just kind of flaunting, like, what I have and what I can do. That's, like, the same thing that reminds me of, like, okay, it's beautiful. I admit it's beautiful. But, like, girls, when they get married, it's, like, all now, like, the marry
me,
like, big block letters on the floor, the roses. When girls have baby showers, it's, like,
insane.
It's all the same thing.
Balloons.
It's
the fucking the wall.
Chair. Yeah, like, which it's cute. Like, do that. But I'm, like, is that because you actually want it, or is it for the photos and that's what everyone else is doing and that's what celebrities are doing and X,
I
Y,
just
and
think
Z.
It's so, we're gonna have to talk about this another episode, but I just think all that shit's so crazy, and that's really what that made me think was like, people really just don't fucking value
shit anymore,
relationships at all. Like, so many people talk about like, oh, I want a boyfriend, oh, I want a partner, whatever. But no one actually does, because everyone's still playing that same bullshit game of like, well, what if there's someone else, or what if, you know? So it's like,
and I feel like, honestly, like, I've been single 3 years now, and that's kind of like one of the games I was playing. Like, and it's
which
hard,
is normal.
And that's being totally honest, because like, being on dating apps, especially, like, I mean, I wouldn't really talk to people, but like, you'll have interactions with certain dudes or whatever. Yeah. And they're not the best. So me, I haven't had the best of luck in past relationships. I've learned a lot from them. But it's like, yeah, I know there's better than this out there. You know? Or you have one wrong interaction. I'm like, no, immediately turned off. Like, why would I do this? But going back to that ultimatum show, I think if I was on it, okay, you got to think. Some of these people are on there because it might get them popular for whatever reason. It's a check.
Well, you have to remember, too, half of them were not... But based off what the show says, half of them were not willing to be there. Their partner was like, we're doing this. So, I don't know. I just think,
obviously,
like,
that's based off what the show says.
The show says.
So I'm thinking half of these people are either there for a check. Maybe they really believe this is gonna
help
them or whatever. But if I was there and I love this person so much, you know, or whatever, say I'm the person that drug my boyfriend there. And I'm like, you know, I'm giving you an ultimatum. And they told me, oh, you have to go be with this guy for 3 weeks. I'm not going to fuck him. I'm not going to do anything with him because I'm there for the ultimatum.
That's what
I get. It's the whole purpose of the show. It's entertaining. Whether that person is being told to do it, it's scripted, whatever, not, I don't fucking know. I don't watch that shit enough. I feel like all of it's fake. But...
that's what threw me, and like, they got to pick who they were going to be with.
They got to pick?
Yes.
That's even worse.
No, they picked. They picked. Okay. They dated. So like, if you and I brought our boyfriends there, or whoever, and then I was like, ooh, I like Randy, and then you were like, oh, I like Miranda, then we'd go be like, okay, we're going to live together for 3 weeks.
Okay, see, that's the thing, because
they're dating other people. They're dating. I'd freak the fuck out. I'd kill someone.
Not only that.
That's what I told Rodrigo. I was watching this. I was like, oh, I'd fucking kill someone. Like, this girl is talking to this other girl about her boyfriend. Like, oh, yeah, he kissed me. And I was like, oh, I would have been, the girl would have been on the floor. I would have been
So would have the dude. Like,
everyone would have been done.
Yeah, like
uh-huh.
See,
and
like
they all get like hammered and shit.
See, this is why I'm not allowed to. This is why I choose not.
I
to
get
watch
so
shows
heated
like
when I watch this.
I
like,
would get
what
mad,
the fuck?
and the entire time I would be analyzing everything, and then I feel like I'd have to constantly remind myself, like, this is a show. This is a show.
It is, but it's crazy. I know you don't like it, but you gotta watch it. But I feel
like now I have to watch an episode just so I can kind of understand.
The first one's pretty. It's like a long one, so you'll get like a pretty good idea of what's happening. I'm almost done with it.
We gotta watch The Ultimatum, I guess. I hate giving trash reality TV.
It's so fucking entertaining though. Like,
I feel like we need to watch it.
Watch that shit.
But to go into what we're talking about this week, Miranda was watching that show, as she mentioned. Yeah. And she thought, let's talk about Soulmates. Like she mentioned, we also briefly touched on it. I'm sure that wasn't the only episode we've touched on it.
No, I feel like we talked about it. We talk about dating and love a lot.
A lot. But yeah, this week we're talking about soulmates. And first off, we wanted to get into like kind of what are soulmates, like what is that definition, what do we think it is, and then we'll go into whether we think soulmates are a thing or not. One thing I did find on soulmates, I want to say that I did find this on Wikipedia. I know sometimes we trust it, sometimes we don't.
For us.
But I feel like they had a lot of good different things, like points on what soulmates are. So according to Wikipedia, a soulmate is a person with whom one has a feeling of deep or natural affinity. This may involve similarity, love, romance, platonic relationships, comfort, intimacy, sexuality, sexual activity, spirituality, compatibility, and trust. So that could be like so many different things, you know, like people can make it whatever they want to be. But their actual definition, they're saying the current usage of soulmate usually refers to a romantic or platonic partner. So that's either, you know, romantic or like a friend. It says with the implication of an exclusive lifelong bond. So I think that's more of like a better definition of what like
it's supposed to be is. Like forever.
Because that's what I think. When I hear soulmate, I think like that is like your ride or die. Like that is your person for life no matter what. Pretty much, you know, like there is that bond that's like unbreakable. That's your person. Like when I hear soulmate, I'm like, oh, that's my person. Like that's your person. What do you think?
I was actually, I don't believe in, not that I don't believe in soulmates. I think the likelihood of ending up with a romantic partner that is your soulmate is very, very slim. I am also like very realistic about this stuff. I think the likelihood of finding a friendship soulmate is much higher than romantic partner. And I think that's because I think it's just obviously it's a different bond. Like, yes, your significant other is your friend, but I think that the relationships we create with our friends is very different. Where like I know obviously it's different. I don't know, but like I had friends in the past, and I don't think that it had, like you said, like forever. I don't know that I think that, because I think that I had friends in my past that like at that time I would have been like, oh, like this is totally my soulmate.
Okay,
like
yeah, that's something that I want to get into too.
Like I've talked about one of my college best friends that her and I don't speak anymore, and like I remember meeting her and being like, I've never had a friend like this. Like, I was like, I've never met someone where, like, I could hang out with her all the time and I could talk to her all the time and, like, I could call her whenever. Like, I had never felt that way before.
Like, this is my person.
Yeah. And so, like.
Now, for this time.
Yeah. And so, and it totally was temporary. At the time, I thought it wasn't going to be, but it was. And, like, that's, like, one of those friendships that I had. And then I think about people like Tay, who I think I've talked about Tay on here before. Yeah. I've known Tay since we were kids. Like, we were 13 when we met each other. So I think she's, like, a different version of that. Like, because she's, and her and I, like, defy all odds of friendship. Like, we're such different people. And, like, we always joke that we're, like, the complete opposite of one another. But our friendship has lasted over 10 years. And then, like, I met you. And, like, so I've always found mine in friends. Like, I haven't found, not, like, I love Rodrigo. But, like, do I think that, like, there's a romantic soulmate for me in the world? That's just like too like dreamy, like from the way that I think about life.
Too,
like I'm very like logical.
Yeah. So I think that's a funny thing, because when we were talking about doing this topic, I started thinking about like myself and like the conversations we've had where I personally I'm not going to say soulmates aren't real, but like Miranda, I feel the same way where I think we have many soulmates. I don't think there is necessarily like this storybook movie idea, you know, where everyone has this one romantic partner. Like that's for them, and like you'll meet them one day, and that's gonna be the love of your life, and you're gonna live happily ever after.
Like knock you off your feet. Yeah, I don't
believe in that. To be honest, I don't know. I mean, whether you're new here or not, I feel like I don't know if I come off. I'm a hopeless romantic, like totally to the core. Don't know if you guys know that, but that's why I feel like I was thinking about like the past couple years, and like whether I like went on an actual date or like hung out with guys or whatever. I think like there was people I would meet, you know, and be excited about, and I'm like, oh, this might be like the next person or whatever, you know, like jumping the gun all the time. But like
us,
you know,
right now,
like thinking,
every time Randy dates anyone, I'm like, oh, this is the one.
You know what's funny is you actually don't. Like you're very good.
You think?
Yes, because I'm just thinking about certain people, and me and you can discuss it after. Yeah. But
you're right.
There hasn't been many people that I've actually like dated or gone on dates with. It's usually like, oh, let's just fucking kick it. Let's link. You know what I'm saying? Like that annoying bullshit, which is crazy because for someone who's a hopeless romantic, I feel like I haven't been getting wooed.
Maybe I just get excited. I will say this. Since Rodrigo came into my life, I've become much more of a softie. So, like, when Randy gets excited about someone, I'm like, like,
okay, yay, but I feel like that's only, like, kind of more recently. Like, I've noticed, because there's been guys that I've been excited about, and I feel like Miranda, in a way, like, yeah, she's my best friend, but she'll kind of be like mom. Where, like,
yeah, you're right.
It's very rare that I will tell my mom things. I'm trying to get better at it. But, like, there was one guy... We actually did an episode on him, the Lit the Fuck Up episode. But when I first started talking about him, I remember Miranda at first was like, oh, yeah, like, cool, you know. And then something's happened, and then she's like, yeah, I don't like this. Like,
you know what? I think
which is understandable.
I was a little hesitant about him to begin with.
Yeah.
So maybe, and then he, like, proved everything I thought right.
But this is the thing that's, like, scares me. Because, like, she kind of knows. Like, she has, like, a feeling.
I told you I think I have intuition.
Yeah, like, is that what it's called? But no, like, so for me, I like to think I've only been in 2 serious relationships. My last relationship, I want to say that was like the love of my life, you know, like so far, like the last person I've been with. But I was like in love with that man. And I think about it, and at that time, when I was with him, a lot of things were changing for me. I remember, I've talked about it before, I never really wanted to get married. I never really wanted to have kids. But when I was with this guy, I think part of me was trying to force, like, that hopeless romantic side of me into, like, believing, like, this is my soulmate. Like,
yeah,
I really was. And I was very, very young.
So I think that's so normal for young people, though.
You know, and I think, like, I was trying to be like, this is the man I'm going to marry. Like, this is the man I will have kids with. Like,
yeah,
this
we're
is
going to have kids. Yeah.
This is my forever, like, whatever. And then when things got really bad and dark, I feel like part of me was, like, trying to hold on to, like, this is my soulmate, though. Like, this is my person. Like, you make it work no matter what. Like, you're a writer. And no, sometimes it just doesn't fucking do it. You can't force yourself into thinking that a person's your soulmate. I do think we could have more than one soulmate. I definitely think I'm like Miranda. I find them more in friends. My last best friend I had that we've talked about in our best friend episode about friendships, she was my soulmate at the time. We were best friends for a long time. That was my girl. But I feel like it comes with growing up and, like, realizing things about yourself. Is that everything is temporary. That's kind of where I'm at in my life. Everything is temporary. Some temporaries are longer than others. Like Miranda and I I want to say right now that I know like she's gonna be my best friend until the day
I think we're pretty much
we're
set.
We're set. She's gonna be my best friend until the day that I die. That's like Sophia. Like there's so many people in my life that I feel that way about. If things change, we all change as individuals. So be it. Like I'm not gonna have any hatred or beef towards you. Like
I think it's when you're younger, it's different though, because you're changing so much that you're gonna like go through these like
phases and people. Yeah. But I think it's so hard for me to say. I don't want to say it's just because I've been single for so long or like haven't had a healthy relationship, but I think it is harder to find that romantic like soulmate of a person.
I think it just comes with friendships, like not that it requires less, but there's less things to like be concerned with. Like, yes, you have to have similar values as your friends. Yes, you have to be able to be a good friend and communicate that. But like when you're dating someone, it's like, do you want to have kids? Do I want to have kids? What's your financial situation? Like, what's your next 5 years? Like there's so much that comes with that.
Yeah.
I think to say that someone, in my head, when I think like someone says like, oh, my partner's my soulmate, and this might be rude, I think it's naive. Like, I just think that relationships are too much work to think like, oh, it's my soulmate. We're just meant for each. I just don't think that's how relationships work. I've never seen people and been like, wow, they're soulmates. Like, look at, like, I've never seen that before. In movies, maybe, but like real life, I've never seen two people and been like, I couldn't think of anyone better for them. Or like, I couldn't imagine them with anyone else. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. I feel like that's so difficult because like I'll meet couples and this is very rare, and I feel like this goes back, like it sounds fucked up, but this goes back to like one of the reasons why growing up I never wanted to get married, because there was not very many solid, healthy, loving marriages in my life that I looked up to and was like, you know what? That's possible.
That's what I want. Yeah.
So now that I'm older and I've been given the opportunity to see my mom remarry and be the happiest she's ever been. Obviously, like, not all couples are perfect, but yeah, like, there's still some things, like, I'm working on with myself. Like, I'm the only one in my family who's, like, gone to therapy and has done shit like that. And I'm like, yeah, I want more for myself, especially I want more out of a partner because I know, like, I can bring that to the table. But I don't know. I just think lately, too, before I was younger and when I was in my last relationship, I lost myself entirely giving all of me to that relationship, and it's like I don't want to see that again. And I've also noticed, like, with my soulmate of a best friend that I had, my old best friend, some things just don't work. And I've also realized, like, Miranda, I think, has been my first healthy, like, friendship. No, really, like, Miranda has been, like, my first, like, really healthy friendship where I have realized over the years that, like, friendships are fucking tough work, too.
Yeah.
Like, while they might be more low maintenance than a relationship.
It's different work.
That's the cool thing about this is Miranda's in a loving relationship. She can give you that perspective. I'm not in a relationship, so majority of my work that I put into my relationships are friendships, whether it's like a best friend like Miranda or just, you know, a friend. Like, I'm putting in a lot to those, to like nurture those relationships, because those are like long lasting relationships to me. I'm not in a romantic relationship, but I don't know, like, I feel like, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, you're in a relationship. I feel like if I was with someone, they're going to be basically, they should be, at least I would hope, my best friend. They'd be like a you, except I kiss them and do,
I was gonna say, you have
know,
sex
like, we're
with them
intimate.
and, like, you have,
we're
like,
intimate. Like, there's that
different conversations.
Yeah, like, obviously, like, there's that aspect of it. So, like, that requires a little bit more.
Yes.
But
I think
that's the part that trips me out about how both of us believe, like, we can have all these, like, kind of soulmate friendships, you know, like, during phases of your life. But, like, it's harder for a romantic relationship. So do you think that's, like, a settling thing?
No, I think that
Now I'm like very deep in
I
this.
think what I said about like me thinking that like romantic partner soulmates is naive, I think that's the way that I've always viewed it. Okay. I think when I've thought about it that way, when I hear the word soulmate, I don't have to try hard because we're perfect for each other and we were meant to be, and God put us on this planet for each other.
That's so crazy, because that is not what I think.
I think that's why I said that, because to me it's naive to say this person's my soulmate and we're perfect for each other and everything is fine and dandy and we don't have to do anything. And not that anyone has said that, but that's kind of how maybe and maybe that's like mainstream media has taught me that when you meet your soulmate, everything falls into place. Yeah. So maybe it's not naive, but I don't think it's a word that I would ever use. And I think that's because the same way that you can like change in friendships, I think could happen in romantic relationships.
Oh, it definitely happens.
Like, Rodrigo's only my second serious relationship, so I'm not someone that can like offer a ton of advice on this or like thoughts, but I have friends that have dated a lot of people. They've had a lot of boyfriends, they've had a lot of girlfriends, and I think that they would probably say like they thought that person was their soulmate, or like they had that like deep connection with this person, and then life changed and then they moved on and then they found someone else. So
they found their
I don't know,
soulmate.
but that's what that show had me thinking, like look how easily people can fit together, right? These couples met, then 3 weeks they lived with someone new and they meshed and were acting like they were together. What is that? Like, what does that mean then? Like, does that mean that, and that's why like I don't necessarily believe in soulmates, because I do think we could easily fit with so many different people. Like,
yeah, no,
I think you could work with so many people. Think about all the fucking people in the world.
Well, that's the thing too, like I don't know if it's like me like trying to heal or like growing up or whatever, but I feel like there's been so many guys. Like, let's just say there's been guys in my life, whether it was like one date, one hangout, we briefly texted, whatever, where there was moments where, you know, I'm like, oh, like, not this is my person, but like this is a good person for me right now in this moment. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you could be fine with that. You can acknowledge that. But that doesn't necessarily mean that person is your soulmate. No. I feel like some people could use that term very loosely. Like, oh, bitch, you're my soulmate. Like,
yes, I think so too. Do I think that some people may have ended up with their romantic soulmate? I do think it's possible. I think the likelihood of it is like,
well, that's the thing,
so slim. And I think it's like perspective on things.
How you mentioned, this is my perspective. You mentioned you felt, well, I mean, you kind of took back saying that it was naive, but how you were like, I just feel like when you hear soulmate, it means that we don't have to do anything and everything.
Yeah, it's perfect. Like,
For me, I don't know if this is now, if you would have asked me when I was younger, I probably would have thought the same thing. Like, you know, like everything's just perfect and that's the love of your life.
Works.
And happy fairy tale, happily ever after, whatever. When I think of a soulmate now, I don't think like sunshine and rainbows. I feel like, yeah, that's like one of the strongest forms of love, like in your life, and like you're kind of willing to do whatever to make it work. That's how that's what I
and
think
I love that. But to me, that's naive. Like, I don't think that's your soulmate. I just think that's the person that you are like, I love you and you love me and we're gonna fucking work our asses off to make this shit work. Like,
I think that's what a soulmate is.
I don't know.
Like, because I feel like there is this idea, like when you watch movies or shows, where a soulmate is that kind of person that before birth, like, you are just meant to be with. You know?
Like it's written
like,
in the
like
stars.
Fucking Twilight, like Jacob imprints on Renee.
Don't get me started on
you know
fucking
what I'm saying? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like,
yes, like
that is my person. Like, you know, we are just
this
drawn
ties
together.
in.
We're brought together, whatever. But I feel like now the 2022, like,
It's who wants to like
age soulmate.
Do it with you.
My definition of soulmate is like, you're willing to put in the fucking work, so am I. I love you, you love me. Let's fucking do this. I don't think we're leaving it, like, as much as people believe in stars and all that shit now, like, I don't think we're leaving it to them anymore.
We're not leaving shit to the stars. That's why, you know what?
Make your choice. I think that's, like,
people,
that's
when
what a soulmate is. Like,
when
to
people
have
say, like,
someone tell you, like, I want you and I will do anything
to make it work.
Obviously, not in a fucking toxic way or no scary shit.
But like we're gonna get to work and make it work.
Yeah.
I think that stuff like oh, it's written in the stars, or what just came to mind was I remember being so distraught and heartbroken when I first, like, my last relationship ended.
Oh, I thought you were going to bring up a movie or something.
Young child. No. When I was a young child. And I remember people used to tell me, if it's meant to be, it'll work out. And let me tell you, that is some fucking bullshit.
Years later, they might come back and
I don't think anyone
much better. Yeah,
I don't think anyone should tell anyone that, because I don't think, and I know there are people that have like happily broken up and then like 10 years later come back together and they're like, oh, fuck that. No, why would you want to like? And I held on to that. Like, I was like, this is like my guiding light. Like, this is hope, when I was like deep in the stages of heartbreak. And then now, like, I've seen friends get broken up with, and they're like, oh, like, you know, if him and I are meant to be. And I'm like, no, you're not meant to be.
That's why you guys aren't together.
Do you see why you're not together? It's because you're not meant to be. Like, and I don't think anyone's fucking meant to be either. Like, you're with someone if you want to be with them, not if the fucking world says, let's reunite these people and make them run into each other in the Vaughn's parking lot. Like, I just don't think that's how this shit works. Like,
they're going to almost run into each other at the vape shop.
She's going to drop her noodles on the floor and he's going to pick them up. Like, no, I just
gotta save
don't.
The noodles, babe. I might take you back if you save the noodles, not going to lie.
I don't believe in it. I don't know. But to me, that same shit, like that idea of like, oh, if it's meant to be, that's something that we've, as a society, have totally been fucking, like, taught by movies and shit.
Yeah.
And it's fucked up that parents and other people go, not that my parents told me that, my mom didn't. My mom was like, fuck that. But, like, that other people go and tell young, heartbroken people, if it's meant to be, it'll work out. Don't tell them that. Don't fucking tell them that.
Yeah.
You're giving them false hope, and you're encouraging them to wait for a piece of shit person that doesn't want to be with them. Like,
it's so funny because literally like a week ago, my cousin and I went to go take my graduation photos.
Oh my God, they came out so pretty.
On our drive there, we were just talking about, you know, life and stuff, and she knew my ex kind of, because we were living like at the same house around the time. And I was telling her, we were talking about my grandpa who passed away. And I remember telling her, I came home one day so distraught and like heartbroken because me and my ex, my boyfriend at the time, had gotten into one of our many intense fights. And I was like on the couch crying in front of my grandpa. And that's how you know it was bad. Like, I can't
when you're willing to let anyone see.
Yeah, exactly. So I was crying, and I remember my grandpa, like, pulls up to me in his wheelchair, like, next to me, and he's like, Mija, like, think about it. Like, does this man love you if he's willing to leave you like this, you know, and to make you feel all these ways? And I remember I was like, Grandpa, like, you don't know him. Like, and he's like,
Grandpa,
I fucking
with
know him.
all your wisdom and all of your life experience, you don't know.
You don't know him like me. And my grandpa was like, Randy, like, I fucking do know him.
I know him.
And
if I don't know him, I know someone like him.
Yeah, my grandpa's like, all I'm going to tell you is if you get back with him, you're stupid. My grandpa told me that. I ended up getting back with the man. My grandpa passed away. And I remember when my grandpa passed away, that was like one of the first things I thought of, because by that time, during that time, we weren't together. And then we got back together after like the funeral, and I was like, everything got 1,000 times worse. And I was like, my grandpa was fucking right. He's like, this is going to come to bite you in the ass. But then I think about the first time we broke up, and I talked to my mom about it, and I was telling my mom, like, I'm considering getting back with him. And I think it was just more of like my mom was just finally happy to see me like not cry anymore.
Yeah.
But I'll never forget, she was like, listen, all stupid. I'm sorry, Mom, but it was fucking stupid. She was like, listen to your heart. And my dumbass heart was like,
was telling me to go get back with this man.
I ended up moving back in like that fucking night. We were back together like nothing ever happened, and shit just fucking hit the fan. And I just remember after that, I was like, you're not really gonna listen to your heart, bitch.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
It's been through that much. Like,
I don't think, as a grown person in the world, I don't think it makes logical sense to think with your heart. As a young teenager, of course you're going to think with your heart because you're not jaded yet. And so you think like everything's going to work and you're like, like, and I get that you have to be heartbroken to learn like, oh, okay, like that fucking sucked. And maybe I'm not going to be so stupid and naive. And I know you have to go through all that, but like stuff like that, I just don't think we should be telling people that stuff. I think that it's misleading. I think that it like externalizes the problem. Like when people are like, oh, if it's meant to be, it'll meant to be. No, if it's meant to be, you would make it meant to be by putting in the work and by making the decision together to come together.
Like you decide,
not by
this
like
is the
the
person
world
that I want to like work on this
exactly
with.
The world doesn't dictate it for you.
I remember too thinking like at the end of my last relationship when I was fucking so distraught and heartbroken. I remember thinking too, like, maybe this is just like the bump in the road, like, you know, this movie or like this couple I know where like they went through all this horrible shit and then they ended up getting back together and like it's the healthiest thing of their lives. Like, yeah, that might happen for some people, but I was like, I'm not going to wait around and like just hope that maybe one day this man comes back to me. He's like, you know what? Change my mind. I'm sorry and I'm going to make everything better and we're going to work for this.
I don't know. All of it's such like a movie, like bullshit. I just don't think it's real. I don't think that. No, I don't.
So you believe in like soulmates for friendships, but not romantic? Is that what you're saying? Kind of.
No, I think that you could, in theory, find a romantic partner that you think is their soulmate. But I do, even with friends, I think it's all up to like perspective, right? Like, and how, like what you look at, we just said your thought of a soulmate is entirely different than mine. So I think that it really is like
your closing argument. What are they on Soulmates?
I think it's determined like on what you think that is and like what you think that means to you. So I think that there are probably a lot of people that we know in our lives. Like I just said, I wouldn't say anyone I know is like their soulmates. They could think that they are like, and I could have no idea. But I don't know. I'm very much like a realistic person when it comes to these things.
I'm the dreamer.
She is. And there's nothing wrong with that. I have my moments, but I also really like to just be like serious, like, and like
maybe this is why we're best friends, soulmates. Maybe.
But
if you aren't watching, I'm using air quotes. I realized this with our last episode. There were many times we were doing like, air quotes for the people who watch. But then I was listening to it and I was like, oh, people can't hear
they think we're being dead serious.
Yeah.
We're catching up on videos. Rodrigo's really busy. He's going to do all of our videos at one point.
He's our video soulmate.
I don't know. I think that it is truly up to perspective, and I think that...
But your perspective is no. You could say it, yeah. I feel like that, yeah.
Like I told you, like, I think it's so naive. Like, I think if I ever envision myself meeting... This is what I was going to say earlier. To me, it's the same thing as, like, when people are like, oh, my God, like, I knew I was going to marry them from the moment I met them. No, you fucking didn't. You didn't look at a random person in a bar and go... I'm going to marry him. No, I don't think any of that shit's real. Like,
that's so funny. That just reminds me of my maid of honor speech at Reynessa's wedding.
Why did you say that they looked at each other and they knew they were going to marry each other?
I said, I was like, I knew the first time I hung out with them that they were going to get married.
I think that's different. I knew Marla and Josh were going to get married.
Yeah.
I remember meeting Josh and being like, he's so fucking in love with her. They're going to get married.
Yeah.
She didn't. She was like, I don't want to date him.
We picked up that fool, took him to In-N-Out. It was literally I was third wheeling. That's all I ever do, guys.
That's all I ever did I still do that with them sometimes.
No,
but
I don't do it anymore, but yeah.
I think you, like, that's different. But, like, I know for a fact Marla didn't think she was going to marry my brother-in-law when they were in high school. They met when they were, like, 15.
I feel like, oh, my God, I need to ask now. But I feel like there's
Are
probably
you soulmates?
No, I feel like there's a chance Ray, like, maybe not right away, but, like, over time, Ray was like, I'm going to fucking marry this dude.
I think so, but she didn't look at him when they were kids and go, oh, I'm going to marry him. Like...
Okay.
No, I just... Do you think that? Do you believe when people say that?
I'm sending them a voice message. You guys are going to hear it.
Remember when we text them on other episodes?
Yes. And we're like, who loves who more? And they both said, I love them more. And they probably started fighting because of it. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I'm currently recording a podcast episode. And we're talking about soulmates. And I just wanted to know, not if you guys think each other are soulmates, but... when you guys first met, did you have any idea that you guys were going to marry one another? So I just said, let's see. They're going to be like, yes, and I'm going to be like, but I'm curious.
Yeah,
so Soulmates Are A Pass. That should be a new thing we do on here. At the end of every topic.
Should we do it with like celebrity couples?
Or people we know. Too. That's such.
We
a
can't do
Miranda
people
thing.
we know.
No,
we can't do people
I
we know.
wasn't even gonna say anything involving people.
We say our friends, our couple friends. Are they soulmates or not?
Miranda's first idea goes to celebrities. I love that. We can do that too. That'd be fun. But my thing was our topic is soulmates, so we would be like, okay, soulmates smash or pass.
Pass.
Like, so you're a pass. I'm a smash to I'm a half smash.
I can't fully commit myself to the idea, so I can't say that
I feel like
I don't know. I don't know.
I'm creating like my own definition, like I said.
I like your definition better than what I had.
I think everything is temporary. Some temporaries are longer than others. It's just what you're willing to work towards with someone.
You know what I just thought?
Yeah.
Would our sisters say that their kids are their soulmates?
I love how you just...
Could your kids be your soulmates?
I think so. I feel like, Ray would probably definitely be like...
I think Marla would say this. I think Marla would say the same thing. I might say the same thing about Emmy.
No, well, that's how I feel.
I might be like, she's my girl.
You
like, we look at each
other.
other.
The other day, I was like, Levi, we're best friends. And he's all, yeah. And I was like...
Yeah, sometimes I go,
bitch.
Do you love Auntie? Yeah.
Yeah, no, Levi, yeah.
One time I'm all,
I
do you love
Auntie?
Auntie?
Kisses.
Yeah, Emmy does it too. But sometimes I'll go, do you love me? And she's all, no. And I'm like,
yeah.
Do you love me now? Yes. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, sometimes I'll tell Levi I love you.
We like need validation.
Like, no, Thea. No, I need it from him all the time. I'll be like, love you. I love
harassed her. That day she told me she didn't love me. I kept going, do you love me now? And she'd be like, no. Yeah, and then eventually she's all, and I was like,
that boy, that really is the love of my life. Like,
that's what I'm saying, right?
I feel so bad. Okay, this is like a whole nother tangent, but I feel so bad because I told my mom, I was like, Levi's my favorite person in the world.
Oh.
And my mom was
like,
no
questions asked.
My mom was like, what are you going to do when they have other kids? And I was like,
I don't know.
He's my favorite person in the world.
That's like, I've always said that. I always said that I love all my family. Everyone knows we're family people. I think
my soulmate will also, they need to be in love with their family. Yes. And their nieces and nephews.
Like my papa.
My soulmate.
It was he's
Air
my
quotes,
number
guys,
one.
You didn't see them.
My papa was my number one favorite person. Emmy was born into the world. Emmy was there.
Yeah.
I'm like,
no. Yeah.
No one beats them. No one, like, I told Rodrigo that the other day. I was like, I love you, but she's just like,
it's different. It's a different
I was like, she's always gonna, and I don't know about the next one. I know I'm gonna love him, but I'm like, oh
God, they're gonna listen to this shit. Thea and Auntie Miranda,
we like you. We love you.
You said we like you. You didn't even say love at first.
I'm kidding. I think once our siblings have more kids, I think it's gonna be like the same thing.
Yeah,
you're gonna be obsessed with them, but
it's just different. It's the first one.
It's hard to imagine a world with them not like they're the baby. They get everything they want.
Being the center of attention.
Emmy comes over. My mom's like, turn the air on. It's hot.
I don't think.
Get her a snack.
I'm curious to see how Levi will adapt to not being the only one.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how the same happens. I obviously don't remember when. Well, I remember when Morgan was born because I was older.
I I think I had some issues with Reggie.
Oh, when Morgan was, I was 11, by the way. When she was, I got gifts. I got gifts at her baby shower because everyone knew that like I was the baby for so long that I was like, I don't know about this. I got presents. I got like fucking big gifts.
Reggie and I were almost 2 years apart, so we're very close in age.
You're like, well, what are you doing here?
And I mean, just from family videos, like I don't know, I have to ask my mom how I was like when he was first born, or like how I was when she was pregnant. But there's like family videos of him just trying to like be with me, or like kind of take over my space, and I'm like, no, brudda. I called him brudda. I didn't know. You're like brother. Yeah, I'm like, get the fuck away. And now I'm so sad because he's gone, and I'm like, I need you
like, please
next to me. I'm like, you're so my bestie.
That's how Marla was. Marla's been a little lady her whole life. Yeah, so when I was born, my mom said she was like my baby, and like was all excited. Emmy's feisty, so I don't know. I'm excited. I'm excited.
Levi will look at you and be like, "Don't look at me." Like I'm not in the mood for someone to look at me right now, and I'm like,
so I'm interested to see. I think she'll be great, but I think it'll be fun to see like how it plays out. Dynamic. Yeah.
So, if you guys didn't know this, I smash Soulmates. I say smash.
I'm like a little hesitant. I don't know.
I just think this could be the hopeless romantic dreamer in me, but I like to think one day I will meet a person, whether we get married or not, like where I'm just gonna be like, you know what, I'm committed to this. I'm committed to you.
That's where I feel like I am right now. But like,
You
I just wouldn't define it as a soulmate. Yeah. I'm like, this is just my boyfriend, and this is just what we do. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. And that's the hard part about it is because I don't know if this has to deal with me being like a lover, but I don't know. I just like to think I would bring that to like any relationship or like person I'm dating.
I think that's why for me, I'm like, this is what I would do. Yeah, this is what I would do if I loved and cared about someone.
That's where I'm a half smash, half pass.
Yeah. We don't. So the answer is, it depends.
What do you think? And yeah, as always, it depends.
Let's get stickers made that say it depends.
Yeah, and they'll be cute.
It depends. I'm going to tell everyone that whenever anyone asks me anything.
I love that. But yeah, so that's the topic on Soulmates. I'm very curious as to what we're going to talk about next week. I wonder if it's one of the topics we have. Or
we're supposed to do check-ins about our healthiness. Our balanced lifestyle.
Actually, I'm getting a little bit better, not going to lie.
Do you want to know what I did this week that was balanced?
Yes, what did you do?
I worked out twice, and then I ate chili cheese fries for lunch.
I love that for you.
And I didn't feel bad about it.
I'm very proud of myself. I mentioned how I was kind of getting back into yoga. Mm-hmm. Yesterday, I did like my first like workout in so long. I woke up sore. My legs feel amazing. I decided to do some like squats before we did this. I allowed myself to eat kettle corn last night.
Oh my God.
And I haven't been letting myself touch it for a very long time.
Ooh, I have hot Cheetos. You just reminded me. They're the lemon ones.
Lemon. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just trying to get better at balancing. Good. Like,
it's only been a week.
Yeah, but so I'm surprised. I like woke up and I was like, I want to work out today. Like
You're like,
I was sweating.
When I go over to work out, lovely. I work out at Marla and Josh's, and Emmy will be all Dodo. Ooh, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna go work out. I'm like, you're so cute. Why do you know what this is?
But yeah, I don't know. I just want to be healthier. Healthy is sexy. Health is wealth.
Health is wealth. It really is.
And we're trying to be on that balance.
We're trying to be rich in health.
We really are. I need that. I kind of wanted to go get a juice, but I think my nephew might be here.
A juice. Have it delivered. Treat yourself. It's Friday.
I wish. I don't think they deliver. I should actually check.
You should. There's a nectar right there.
Yeah, but they don't have the juice that I like.
But they have a green apple detox.
Oh, that one's.
But you have to get it with crushed ice.
But there's this specific juice that I get made because shout out to my friend Cameron.
Oh yes, Cameron, juice. I heard about this juice.
Yeah, he got me this juice before the shoot we had, and since then I've been addicted. Like, I need to try it. I love a juice. If anyone wants to donate a juicer to moi, you can go go ahead and do so.
If anyone wants to donate a juicer to me, please drop it off at my door. Thank you.
Like, dude, we could do local fucking pickups. We could meet at Draft Picks parking lot, and
we should
will pick up the
check on
fucking juicer.
Facebook Marketplace for you.
Okay, I don't need a used one. If you want to donate a new one,
you want to donate a brand new juice?
If you used it like once, and I know you, and I trust your cleanliness, dude, we're still in a pandemic. Like, I need to give a fuck a little bit. Like,
we could Lysol it. It's probably not good for your insides.
Yeah, let it marinate and soak for like
Lysol?
4 days. Yeah, and then like do a whole wash and shit. Yeah, but no, I'm into juice now, and that's what we think about Soulmates. And we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.
Do you see my little pinky?
Yeah,
it looks like a dinosaur.
Oh my god, I did. We're taking that back.
Okay, we're gone.